What's up, Taiwan? Good morning. I'm Sandy Chi with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A Japanese delegation is in Taiwan as the two countries work to deepen their political ties. But cultural relations between Japan and Taiwan have long run deep. Our reporter Louise Watt traveled to a part of the capital, Taipei, that is still reminiscent of Taiwan's Japanese past.
A slice of Japan, here in northern Taipei. The neighborhood of Beito has many reminders of Taiwan's past as a Japanese colony, including hot springs, developed by Japan around the turn of the 20th century. 68-year-old Hong Zheming was born after Taiwan came under China's control at the end of the Second World War, but he still remembers the Japanese influence on his life.
我们从小我的爸爸、我的妈妈，他就是读日本的学校嘛，就受日本教育啊。像我们这一代就有接触到啊，家里也是有讲日文啊。
Today, buildings from the 50-year Japanese period and this restored Japanese train station attract visitors to Beito. There are other places like this across Taiwan that show its cultural ties with Japan run deep. Political ties were put on a closer track after Shinzo Abe became Japanese Prime Minister in 2012. Abe took a stronger stance on China than his predecessor. This sat well with Taiwan, long facing pressure from China, which won't recognise its sovereignty and claims it as part of its territory. After he stepped down as Prime Minister, Abe became more vocal in his support for Taiwan and said any attack on the island would present a serious threat to Japan. The fear in Tokyo is that a Chinese attack on Taiwan could be followed by another on Japanese-administered islands also claimed by China, or on Japan's Okinawa Islands. Now it appears Japanese support for Taiwan is continuing under Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. A delegation is visiting Taiwan this week, which includes two former defense ministers.
Because of their background, their positions in the previous cabinet, it really symbolized an important upgrade of the interaction between official interaction between Taiwan and Japan.
A Japanese defense white paper last week said Taiwan is an extremely important partner for Japan, sharing the same fundamental values such as freedom and democracy. The stability of the situation surrounding Taiwan is also critical for Japan's security and must be closely monitored with a sense of urgency. This follows a warning from Kishida in May on a trip to London that peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait must be maintained.
ウクライナは明日の東アジアかもしれない。
Beijing responded by saying Japan is just finding excuses for its own military expansion. Back in Beito, Hong isn't concerned about the geopolitics of it all, but if war comes, he hopes Taiwan's friends step up, regardless of their reasons.
他是比较偏重自己的利益嘛。台湾如果 被大陆拿走了，会影响到台湾海峡整个航道，它都会受影响。
For Hong and many other Taiwanese, the visit of the Japanese delegation is another sign of friendship between the two countries. And there are hopes that the cultural and fledgling diplomatic ties will turn into military ones too. Damon Lin and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, predicts that the world's economy growth is slowing, and Taiwan is not immune to the downward global trend. The Consumer Confidence Index of the country has plummeted to a 12-year low, while overall living costs are going up. Hu-Ching Huang reports.
At a market in Taiwan, shoppers are snatching up guavas instead of mangoes, but the fruit's decreasing popularity has little to do with taste.
那芒果啦跟荔枝啦，价钱就蛮高的，比以前贵了三四倍以上应该有。
什么新鲜，什么便宜买什么。
Shoppers are vigilantly looking for bargains at a time when prices of many daily necessities are spiking. The Consumer Confidence Index in July fell to around 63 points, a 12-year low. The measurement takes into account employment prospects, family finances, consumer prices, and the local economic climate. It also factors in investments in the stock market and the likelihood of purchasing durable goods over the coming 6 months. Despite narrowing disposable income for many, rent is continuing to trend upwards. A tiny room like this one, which doesn't even have enough space for a desk or a closet, has become a hot item in Taipei, in a city where the average salary is a little more than $1,400. Many in the capital find themselves putting more than 1/3 of their monthly earnings towards rent. According to the latest data released by the government, the annual growth rate for residential rent in June hit 1.85%, the highest in 25 years. But analysts warn the real figures paint a starker picture.
那社会住宅虽然也会涨租，但是它涨幅的情况其实它并不像一般的私有住宅，它的涨幅会这么的明显。也就是说，总体实际租金的成长的情况呢，其实比官方的数字来得更高的。
Already hit hard by the pandemic, the global economy is likely to further weaken by the war in Ukraine, tighter monetary policies, and inflation. As difficult as 2022 is for the world, the IMF is warning the worst may be yet to come. And given Taiwan's economic climate, it's most likely that the country won't be excluded from that pessimism. Klein Wang and Eugene Huang for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's chess team is in Chennai in India for the world's biggest chess tournament. A record 2,000 players from 187 countries are taking part in this year's games. The 44th Chess Olympiad was supposed to take place in Moscow, but after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the International Chess Federation moved the event and India won the hosting rights. I spoke with 14-year-old Sophie Tsai, the youngest member of Taiwan's team, ahead of their departure.
What do you love about playing chess?
I love that every game is different and there are always endless possibilities that chess offers. Like you can meet new friends, play new openings, and go to different countries around the world.
How do you feel about being the youngest player to represent Taiwan? Do you have a lot of pressure?
Well, I'm very honored to be representing Taiwan and also be playing board 1 at the Olympiad. And honestly, I try to not give myself a lot of pressure, and I just tell myself that it's just for fun and practice.
So what have you learned from the games that you can apply to, let's say, the challenges and difficulties in your life?
I play a lot of sports at school, such as like soccer and basketball, and chess teaches you to make decisions like quickly, and you have to make the right decision. However, like when you play sports, you have to make decisions quickly. And I think that playing chess helps me to make good decisions faster, and my thought process is improving as well as my chess level.
The Taiwan Film Festival is kicking off in Australia. The annual festival showcasing the works of Taiwanese and Asian Australian filmmakers is now in its 5th year. After going online because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the festival is back in cinemas across 4 cities. This year's program includes new features, classic movies, and short films. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of an addax calf at the Brookfield Zoo near Chicago. The zoo says the species is critically endangered and on the brink of extinction in the wild. I'm Sandy Chi, take care and see you next time.